Well, good morning, everybody. November 4th. Here we are again. Welcome to Shut Off Info. Quick disclaimer, this is a conversation between me and Randy only. So don't take it as expert advice. And if you listen to us, then it's on your own risk. But this is just for fun. All right.
Sweet. Good morning, everybody. So we're still here. We don't have a president yet, so the world hasn't ended just yet. So that's good.
It's about to.
We'll just have to wait until maybe Friday, Sunday, or next year. So we'll see. But let's jump right into what topics we got today. So today on the personal development, we have being a good loser. And what does that mean? Fitness, we have using cardiovascular percent ranges. So this time it's going to get a little bit more technical. And on the finance, we have bullish versus bearish. What does that mean? And news updates. So let's jump right into it. What does being a good loser mean?
Well, definitely knowing how to do and how to accept that you lost, right?
Mhm.
So, in my opinion, it all comes down to three things. It will be accept that you lost, that there's nothing else that you can do, regardless. It's a game, maybe it's a friendly game, or just a competitive game. If you lost, you lost. It's as simple as that. It's a fact. So accept it. Now the other one is learn from it, or pretty much see what you did wrong, how you can do better next time, and the takeaways from it. Now, learning from from a losing experience is really good because it really shows how you can control your emotions. Nobody likes to lose. And last but not least, move on. Life continues. Life goes on. So just move on. Accept that you lost. Learn from it, and then move on. As simple as that. And I have some experience on that. As a kid, I was a really sore loser. Like I never liked to lose. When it came to like soccer games, like I remember crying like a few times because I lost. I always was the A student in my classroom, so I never had. I actually won on sixth grade. It was because favoritism. I ended up second in my classroom, and I just I was like, damn, why? Yeah, I was a really bad loser back then. And now, I don't let that affect me no more. If I lost, I lost, and yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, man, like that. Yeah, for sure. Like that's always been a thing. Same thing when I was younger. I used to be a little bit of a sore loser. I remember when I was young, I used to play video games a lot, specifically Call of Duty. And losing just got me so angry. And to a point where I would start like throwing controllers and start yelling at the people on the other screen, telling them that they sucked, even if they beat me. And I don't know, like something kind of just clicked one day where I was just like, honestly, that doesn't help anybody. I'm not becoming better. I'm just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. And hopefully because they won and made me feel bad, I can maybe do the same to them, but with my words, right? So as you get older, you start seeing, if you start maturing more, you start seeing that doesn't really do anything. There's no benefit to that. You don't get better. They don't get better. There's no kind of win-win in that situation. It's just lose-lose.
Mm-hmm.
You feel bad and you're not really doing anything for them either. I mean, they beat you, that's it. But who are you? Most of the time you're really just a nobody and you're acting like you're a big shot, but you're not. And a lot of that comes down to ego as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another topic of conversation, right? Yeah, it's just like you need to understand that sometimes life isn't going to go according to plan. Actually, let me correct that. Almost all the time, life is not going to go according to plan. And that's okay. It's not your responsibility to try to control the variables. You can only control what you do and what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, when you lose, emotions kind of get get a little riled up. You start getting a little bit more emotional than usual. Understand that that's just a part of the process. That's not supposed to be something that you just give into. Those emotions that just trigger because of failure. You start feeling anger or hatred or whatever the case is. That's there. That's normal, and that's there for you to get better because you don't want to feel that way again. So you learn from those experiences, and little by little, you go back to that similar situation where you failed before, try it again, and then hopefully this time you're successful. But if you're not, that's fine too, because there's something else to learn.
Yeah, I'm definitely agree with that. The fact that it's experience, and also it all comes down to your emotions. And like Randy said, your ego. So if your ego is too big and you feel like the shit, you gotta know how to control that. We should definitely talk about this, like how you can be the shit, but at the same time very humble. You gotta humble down
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's perfect, but you cannot win in every situation of your life. Now, how you take the loss is very important because it really shows that maturity in you, like how how much you have grown throughout these years. No matter how bad of a loser you were as a kid, if you're not trying to kind of like amend those bad habits or those runs of your childhood, then you're not growing. You're not bettering yourself. Now, psychologically, I took this psych class. It says like your childhood has a lot of effect or a lot of saying in your adult life, and it's true. It's absolutely true. But there's two type of people: those that blame their childhood for the person that they are now, and those that are trying to be better and trying to fix those wrongs uh, of of when they were kids. But it's all emotions. I think it's all about controlling your emotions. So whether you lose a game, whether you lose, maybe you fail a class, you lost a gear, or anything in particular, you learn how to be a good loser and accept it, learn from it, move on. Simple as that. That's my rule when it comes to failing or losing something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was
Right.
just writing some ideas for us to talk about next time. Yeah, no, that's it, man. Just control those emotions. Don't let them get the better of you. Just learn. This is all a process. We're all in the same boat. Nobody's not been where you're at some point. There's so many people that are alive today or that have lived in the past. More than likely, people have gone through what you've gone through. All you
Right.
have to do, look for those people that have been successful and do your best to learn from those past experiences and from them as well.
Yeah,
You
one
can find them.
I forgot to mention, one thing that you mentioned that you try it again and you keep trying. Now this will also depend, like also show how determined you are in the
Mm.
specific thing that you're trying to do and you're failing at the same time. Let's say you're trying to do to be a good soccer player and you fail multiple times. If you keep trying, that shows the passion and also the determination that you have for that specific thing that you're trying to achieve. And that's really good because that starts creating a good habit on you. But if you give up, maybe it wasn't for you. That's okay. Not everything is for you. Not everything has to be for you. You cannot be the best athlete, the best uh, student, the best entrepreneur at the same time. You can only be good at one thing at a time. So be good at that. Then keep learning other stuff.
Yeah. So becoming world class at one thing at a time. And then
Mm-hmm.
once you feel like you've dominated it, then you move on. But when you start spreading yourself a little too thin, that's where you start seeing that you don't make any progress anywhere.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah,
All right, I think that about covers it, no?
that pretty good covers it. Now the reason that we're talking about this is because, well, the reason I chose this topic is because the presidential elections. I
Mm.
thought we might have a winner and loser already, and I just
No.
want to compare how they took it, depending. Because I know Trump is a sore loser. You can tell. So he was gonna do like anything in his power to blame it on whoever comes to his mind.
Yeah.
Biden, according to his response on the presidential debate, he just said that he was going to agree, he was going to step down. That's it. It really shows the type of person that you are.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good on that. Let's jump on to the next one. So, using cardiovascular percent ranges. So this is getting a little bit into what we were talking about yesterday. We were
Uh,
talking about like those percentages with the cardio. So I'm not going to get really, really scientific using like the mathematical formulas and everything like that, because then that'll take a little bit longer. There's no necessity for that. But just to give you a basic rundown. So as we talked about cardio yesterday, there's different types of cardios that you can do. There's low intensity cardio, there's high intensity cardio, there's interval training, there's HIIT training as well. Kind of it doubles up with high intensity cardio, high intensity interval training. So where do you even begin? Which one do you even do? So one of the ways you can determine that is by using a cardiovascular percent range, or your heart rate percent ranges. So there's a formula that gives you what your heart rate is, your basic heart rate, your normal resting heart rate. You take that and you put it into an equation where it gives you a heart rate range of where you should be training. So somewhere, usually the starting ranges are anywhere from about 40 to 55, I believe, 40 to 55, which is like a low in heart rate. So most of the time, you walking around is going to get you to that percent range. Then after that, we have 55 to like 75, which is a little bit more higher intensity. It's not going to kill you. It's like a light jog or maybe a little bit of running. Then we go into higher intensity, which is about 75 to 90. And that's usually where you're just kind of, that's where you're sprinting. That's where you're going all out. That's where you're giving everything that you got. Those are the ranges that you're generally going to find with all the different types of cardios that you can do. So we're saying all of this in order to help you determine what kind of cardio you should be doing. If you're an athlete, you're definitely going to be on the higher end of the spectrum. So that's where you're going to be between anywhere from 75 to 90 most of the time, because you're always running and you're usually having to run pretty fast. Think of a basketball player running back and forth on a court, right? Or a soccer player doing the same thing. These guys are running all out to get to the other side of the range as fast as possible. So those are the people.
Really quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So when you're an athlete or when you're doing cardio frequently, your heart get used to it as well. So you definitely want to be more into that in the higher range, because your heart gets used to it. The more that you do it, your body adapts to it. So you're gonna notice that the same amount of running or the same distance that you run is not gonna get you the same heart rate as before. It's gonna be lower. All right.
Yep. Listen, the heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, you can train it to be better and more efficient over time. So if your body gets used to training at those higher ranges, your heart is just going to adapt, and little by little, that same level of intensity isn't going to trigger the same response from your heart rate. If anything, will be less. You can do it more efficiently and more effectively, because that's the human body. We're really good at just adapting to anything, mostly. So that's it. Yeah. So you drop down those cardio ranges, and that's, let's say we're in the medium range from 60 to 75 or 55 to 75. That's generally where you want to be in terms of being more like a marathon runner. So these are the people that can keep a really consistent pace for a very long period of time. So oftentimes marathon runners are running anywhere from about 5 to 100 miles in any given period. There's some people that do 200 miles for marathons. So that's pretty crazy. Or you even got people that do triathletes, or what are those called? Those marathons where it involve multiple sports.
Oh, no clue.
Ultra marathons. So those are the people that
Really run 5K. I mean 5 miles.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Yo, what is the formula? I want to write it down.
Oh, you have to look it up, man. I don't know.
Bro. Nah, I know it's
heart rate reserve formula. That's the one you're looking for.
Huh?
Heart rate reserve.
Heart rate reserve. I'm lazy to go by there. But I remember, okay, one thing that I kind of mentioned, like if you go to the gym, the machines, they have this little graph, the cardio machines especially, like the treadmills, the stairs, or any machines that it's cardio, they have a little chart, and you're gonna see right there, like the range. I mean, like the age that you are. For example, let's say like 18 to 20. There's like a heart rate range that you kind of want to stay on. Kind of is divided like 3 sections, like low intensity, medium intensity, and high intensity, something like that. Or low intensity.
Right. You want the formula?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so the heart rate reserve. So HRR is equal to
whatever HR.
Okay. So you take your resting heart rate. So RHR.
HR.
And you subtract that from your maximum heart rate. So MHR.
Are you serious? That's it?
No. And then you multiply it by the percent range of how intense you want your cardio to be. So again, we can go from as low as 0.4 to as high as 0.9. And then you add back in your resting heart rate.
You add back into this multiplication?
No. After you do the percent range. Yeah. So after the multiplication.
Your what?
Resting heart rate, RHR.
This is complicated as fuck.
So that's what I was telling you. I don't want to do that.
I don't even know what is the resting heart rate for me.
But that one's pretty simple. You just like literally sit down and take your pulse here for like 60 seconds, and that gives you your resting heart rate.
Gotcha. I think like Apple Watch and some fitness.
Yeah, a lot of all these fitness devices give you a resting heart rate as well. So.
That's interesting. I think it's easier than this, to be honest, because I see one that it has like your weight, your age, and your height, and that determines the range.
That max heart rate one, it's the general formula is taking 220, subtracting your age.
220 subtracting your. Okay, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Because I remember doing this one, once back when I was an athlete.
Yeah.
They gave us a range. Like they made us do math.
No, but that's what I mean, right? So like, this is where you get really specific and detailed, and the more specific and detailed you get, the better the results will be. Mm-hmm. But it's tedious work, and that's generally why I have a job, right? Because people don't like doing this kind of equations, or they can get a little bit complicated and convoluted. They're just like, you know what, you take care of it. Just when I show up, I'll just work out and I'll do whatever you tell me to do, and that's generally what I do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the formula for that.
All right.
So right, going back to the percent ranges. So we have the marathon runners within that long or that medium range that stay pretty consistent. The ultra marathons, which usually consist of like running, biking, and swimming. So those people are super conditioned. So if ever at some point you want to do that, definitely by all means try it. And then you have the lower heart rate ranges, which is usually walking. That's what's going to get you between 40 to 55. Mm-hmm. And that's where you want to be if you really want to start burning more fat, more body fat. We can get into this topic a little bit later, but your body uses different energy sources depending on the type of intensity that you do your exercising in, or just the intensity that you do whatever your day-to-day activities with. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, definitely. And once you pass your max heart rate, I think that's when you actually start burning the fat rather than the calories that you're eating.
No. So, wait, say that again?
So I think it's after that you pass it's a certain number. I think it's the max heart rate that you start burning like the actual fat.
No. So when you do that, that's when you're going to die.
I don't know. I'm not that expert.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to correct that.
I know there is a number though.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. You see that formula behind you?
Uh-huh.
That percent range or the percentage sign, that's supposed to be anywhere from 0.4 to 0.55.
Wait, what? 5.5?
0.4 to 0.55. That's the percent range. Or 40% to 55%.
See, I don't know, guys. I'm not.
That's why I'm here.
That's why we got Randy here. But yeah, I just know from my experience what I have been doing.
Yeah.
I know the names. Cool. Anything else to add to that? Well,
no. That's pretty much it.
That's it. When it comes to cardio, I'm not the expert, but yeah, I know that if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to we talked about this before. Cardio is really good as you age, as you grow old, because like I said, heart is a muscle. So the stronger you have the muscle, when you're old, you're going to have a healthier life. Because remember, your heart pumps blood to your entire body, so it's in charge of pretty much sending the vitamins, sending your the white cells,
oxygen, yeah, everything.
So the stronger you got as you age, the more healthier you have it, the much better. And yeah, so cardio is a really good one to that. That's kind of like
here's one of the okay, go ahead, finish up with the last one.
Yeah, let me finish and this. All right. So one way that you can maybe think about it, cardio it's helping you internally, while lifting weights, doing push-ups and heavyweight lifting, it's gonna help you physically, like outside. Boom, I just came up with it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one way to think about it. All right.
So basically what you were getting in is that exercise is basically medicine, right? The way I like to think about it and the way I like to explain it to my clients is that exercise is preventative medicine. So the idea isn't that you're going to do all this exercise and like it's going to immediately have an effect and, get you to where you want to be. Long term, it's a preventative medicine in the form of if you have strong muscles as you get older and you also have strong bones, you have a good heart. These are all things that generally take people out, right? Like people have to constantly go to the hospital or the emergency rooms because they have issues with all of these problems because their heart isn't working as well or efficiently anymore. So they can't breathe because oxygen isn't getting to their lungs fast enough. Or they're really weak and they can barely stand up because their bones aren't particularly as developed as they used to be. They just kind of got weaker over time and you don't really do anything to strengthen them. That's something we can talk about, how to strengthen your bones. Same thing with your muscles. You don't even have the strength to lift basic weights that you used to be able to do with no problem because you got older and you weren't doing any kind of physical activity in terms of, building muscle, lifting weights. So these are all things that if you start now, later on in life, you're not going to have to worry about it. And that's it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And exercise is going to affect every single aspect of your life, I guess. Fitness, especially, that lifestyle that you chose is going to show your discipline, pretty much help you with the mindset, because a lot of people see fitness or working out, cardio especially, because, like you're doing it for a long period of times, that it can serve them as meditation, which really helps your mindset and, bring positive energy. And also physically, like if you want to look good, it's really good way to do it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty much what I have to say for fitness section today.
That's pretty much it, man. Get your exercise in. Don't be lazy.
Here you go. Don't forget bacon.
All right. And eat those veggies. For sure. All right. Last topic here. Bullish versus bearish. So what do you mean by that? What does bullish mean? What does bearish mean?
All right. So these are two terms that you might have heard a lot on the market, on the stock market especially. So there's two type of animals that they represent, whether you're selling or you're buying. So bearish position and bullish position. What it means? No, there's a reason there's a bull in Wall Street. It represents that you are willing to invest, you're willing to buy. So bullish represents the bull. That means that you are in the buying position, or you have the mindset to keep investing into that company. Bearish position, bearish is represented by a bear.
No, you got it.
Yeah, a bear. And pretty much saying that you don't trust the stock that you're investing on right now. You're iffy about it. Maybe there's a negative catalyst and you are willing to sell. So you're going to sell. So the market goes into a bearish. Right now we are on a bearish market, because if you notice that trend since September, I think the peak was on September 2nd, it's been going down. So that's a bearish position. Right now we are on we're not really on a bearish market yet, but we're seeing the pattern of a bear rather than bullish. Bullish would be something that it's growing and it gets, making money.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? That's my.
Yep. That's pretty much it. So bullish to me means green, and green usually means money. Bearish to me means red, which usually means losing money. So in a bullish market, people are buying. People aren't afraid to just buy more things that are looking good, looking positive. And in a bearish market, people are just selling. They have no confidence in whatever it is that they're trading, so they're just going to sell it and just leave it at whatever it's going to happen. Regardless of whether the market is bullish or bearish, because I'm a trader, I don't really worry too much about that. I kind of just trade whatever's happening. So if it's going up, I'll trade with the market. If it's going down, I'll trade against the market. And that's the thing. You don't have to be in any one mindset in order for you to invest and trade. you can go in both ways. And that's the great thing about the market.
But you got to know what type of market you're dealing with. Because if you don't know that the market for the day is going to be bearish, you cannot go against the market and mistakenly can do a bullish position rather than a bearish position. So definitely do your research and make your own predictions, analyze it, look at other sources as well. But defining what type of market you're dealing with, you can either make money or you can lose money. And this all comes down to also the first topic of the day. If you lose money, control those emotions, because time to time you're going to lose more money just because you sell too quickly. And this happened to me from my experience. I sold, and instantly the market started to bullish, start going.
Yep. No, look, I showed you an example yesterday, right, with Neo. It went down. I lost what was like $300, so that was about a 3% loss. And then when I wake up the next morning, it's already up 2%. So from bottom to top, that was a 5% jump.
Yeah.
I just held the position. Now, obviously, that's not the best practice if I'm trying to be a day trader, but I already saw that there was good potential in this company bouncing back, and I just kind of left it there. And even if it didn't, I can manage the position so I can decrease it or get better average pricing and little by little try to get a better price. But because I held it, it bounced right back. And oftentimes what you find is, especially for me, when I sell, that's where I lose the money. Because generally, whether it be now, a week from now, or a month from now, it has a tendency of bouncing back if all things stay consistent, whatever it is that you're trading. That's not to say that's what you should be doing, because sometimes that doesn't actually happen and you can lose all your money. So you should definitely be very diligent about what it is that you're trading. Always look for me, you should always be looking for value. If there's value there, that's what you want to be trading. If there's no value, if it's a pump and dump, which is something else we could talk about, right?
Yeah, that's actually a good point that you just brought up about that. A lot of people that are selling you like these courses, like, copy and paste shit on, Instagram or whatever, they might be doing their analysis or whatever, but the stock that they're trading might not have any value. And in the long run, you're going to end up losing money on that. If you copy and paste, because they're so unpredictable. A lot of people are doing it, and it can go down anytime. The time that it takes for you to copy and paste the trade, it can go down.
So that's why you always do your due diligence. You never listen to any one person and think, I'm just going to listen to what they said and I'm going to do exactly what they told me to do.
There's no easy way to make money. Maybe in the short run, you can make $100, but you're going to lose 1,000 in the long run if you just depend on somebody and don't actually learn how to trade on yourself.
That's one thing about the market that I've learned. This thing is, there's infinite possibilities. So anything can happen at any moment. That's why you always have to be willing to manage that position, your emotions, the amount of money you're trading with. Because let's say 60% of the time you're going to be right and things are going to go according to plan. 40% of the time they're not. And let's say 30% of the time they're not. And then 10% of the time it's going to go so badly that you will lose all your money. If you have too much money invested there, that's the problem. So you have to make sure that that's never the case.
Yeah, if you're just starting right now, I would recommend like 20% or 25% of all you, clearly assets, not the money that you have available, assets. You should know your net worth by now. If you're like about 18, you should know your net worth, how much your life matters, how much your life is worth. Like it can be like, like the clothing, just, you can average, you don't have to go one by one. We can actually, this is a good topic to like go into other day.
Yeah, no, I'm writing everything down.
Okay, cool. But yeah, cool. I think that's it about bearish and bullish. Hopefully today is a bearish market. I haven't done my own research today. I was focused on
today we were bouncing back really strong.
Yeah.
But right now we're in such an
uncertainty.
So much uncertainty. We can likely just as much fall as we go up. So
I'm staying away from trading since yesterday because of the uncertainty. My loan portfolio is doing good, but it's kind of staying consistent, which is nice to see, recuperating some of my profit losses. And And on the news, well, I've been following the elections closely, but I have an exam today, guys, so I haven't been researching anything in particular or looking at anything in particular.
After the exam.
After the exam, yeah, I would definitely put time to do it like before.
Sweet.
But other than that, earnings. There was no earnings report yesterday. Well, companies that mattered to me, and I don't think it will matter for some of you. I have, but I don't follow any of them, so I didn't really care. But today,
yeah, I saw the Hilton have earnings reports.
Yeah, actually, Hilton might be an interesting one today. Qualcomm today, actually, there's few that I'm following. So Hilton, Quantum, Match, Fitbit is coming out today, and pretty much it. Those are the only ones that interest me because direct competition. Oh, the Wendy's food chain, food. I'm hungry now. But yeah, cool.
It's too early for food, man.
All right, a really good one. Yeah, we will see you tomorrow, guys.
Deuces. Huh?
Anything to say?
No, that's it. I mean, in terms of my part of the news updates of trading Neo, that went well. That was about it.
Oh yeah, you guys should follow Randy's Instagram page. He posts his trading, like daily trading.
Yeah, I put daily just recaps of whatever I trade. So radically driven trading. It's a long name, but it's exactly how it sounds. Radically driven trading.
Yeah, it's a really good one. You guys can see his insights on day trading and the amount of percent that he makes daily. It's a really good one. I've been
or lose. I don't shy away from putting the losses as well.
All right. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Peace out.
See you tomorrow.